you can never get enough knowledge, you know what I mean, from other producers and, you know, what they're doing, what's working for them. And, you know, sharing ideas, man, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those producers that's like, oh, I found out the secret and I'm going to keep that to myself. Like, no, I got to share. You got to share that shit, man. You know what I mean? Like as the producer community, you know what I mean? You got to help each other out, you know?
1, 2, yeah. Come on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, sir, you are tuned in. This is for the SB1200, ASR 10s and NPC heroes. This is for the crate digging, loop getting, sound manipulators, the Fruity Loop reasoning machine innovators that pump the bass and frequently freak the kick in a stand till it slaps in your speakers. The sound providers that make sure the song is tight. Shout out to the producers, beats grinding live. Shout out to the producers, beats grinding live.
Welcome to the Beats Grinding Life podcast with your host Siren, a weekly interview podcast with inspiring music producers, where every week you will learn from a different music producer how to potentially take your music career to the next level.
Today's episode of Beats Grinding Life is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audio download and 30-day free trial at beatsbooks.com. Over 180,000 titles to choose from on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Some recommended readings by past Beats Grinding Life guests like 48 Laws of Power, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, The Secret, Tools of Titans, and The Song Machine are all available with Audible. Once again, go to beatsbooks.com to get your free book. What's up, Beat Grinders? This is another episode of Beats Grinding Life. I'm your host, Siren, and with us this week we have Vinyl Villain. Vinyl Villain, aka the Marty Scorcese of hip-hop, is a hip-hop music producer based out of the Boston, Massachusetts area. He is given the nickname Marty Scorcese because of his ability to paint boom-bap beats woven with the criminal element. He has built his brand from the ground up with nothing but the sky as his limit. He has produced for artists such as Token, CRIMEAPPLE, Reks, Fast Life, Relentless, Ito, K Burns, and many more. Vinyl Villain, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to be on. Glad to be on here.
Thank you, man. Well, I'm definitely glad to have you as a guest on here, man. I think I told you earlier, you know, it's a long time coming. I've been watching you build for a long time, man, and just, you know, I regret not having you on here earlier, but, you know, the timing is always right, so.
It's all good, man. It allowed me to do even more stuff, you know what I mean? And
that's what's up.
Give it that much better, you know, make the interview that much better, hopefully.
That's what's up, man. No doubt, man. No doubt. Okay, man. Well, you know, I gave a mouthful on who you are to the Beat Grinders listening, but if you can just tell them a little bit more, just expand on that intro a little bit, maybe tell them something that they may not know about you.
I mean, you covered a lot of it, man. You know, hip-hop producer based out of, you know, the Boston area. Been doing this for a long time, you know what I mean? And steady grind, trying to stay consistent with everything and, you know, working towards, you know, just continuing to build the brand and, nice. You know, make some of the dopest music that I can.
That's what's up, man. Well, you're definitely doing that, man. Definitely doing that. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of what you're doing, the way that you're building your brand, your music itself. So, yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate it.
I don't plan on slowing up. That's
what's up, man. All right, man. Well, how we start off Beats Grinding Life is we always want to know your origin stories. What made you want to get into music? What made you want to get into hip-hop music production?
I mean, I've always had a love for music since I was a kid. I'd say, you know, even growing up, you know, my older brother, he always, you know, we'd go to the movies, he'd pick me up from school, whatever. And, you know, he always had the new CDs, you know, Cypress Hill, Nas, Wu-Tang, everything like that. So, you know, it started from an early age. Like I said, I've always had a love for music. And then, you know, as I got older, when I was in high school, I actually got my first set of turntables, and and I had a Boss Dr. Rhythm DR202 drum machine, and started DJing. I would DJ a couple house parties here and there. I would skip classes, when I could, to go back to my house, during the day when my mom wasn't home, and spin records while my friends would freestyle, stuff like that. And then after high school, I think I took about a year off, just doing odd jobs and shit, construction, masonry, whatever I had to do. And then I decided to go to school right here in Brookline, Massachusetts, to New England Institute of Art, where a lot of Boston, well, not a lot, I don't want to say a lot of Boston producers, but like Static Selector went there.
Nice.
And a couple other producers from the area. John Glass went there. I think Flip Jackson actually went there for a year or two. My homie Michelangelo went there. Like, a lot of producers from the Boston area went there. So I went there. I went to school there for audio production. I ended up getting my bachelor's degree, went there for 4 years.
Wow.
Sadly, I don't think I did enough networking while I was there, but during my first semester, I met a couple kids that shared the same interest in music. One kid specifically from Tennessee, and we ended up booking one of the studios at AI. They had I think like 5 or 6 studios that the students could book on their own time to work on their own stuff, do projects, get work done, whatever it was.
Right. So
we ended up booking one of the studios, and he brought in his MPC 2500 and kind of showed me, quote unquote, how he made beats. And I think a week later, I overborrowed money from the school, financial aid, whatever it was, and went out and bought an MPC 1000, and then kind of went from there. So it's been a long road. Like I said, it's kind of been something that's been ingrained in me for a while, ever since I was a kid.
Okay, that's what's up, man, for sure, man. Well, I mean, you said that you were taught how to make beats on the MPC 2500, but I mean, it sounded like you were making beats before on the Boss Dr. Groove.
I wouldn't say, what I mean, those I wouldn't qualify as beats. You know what I mean? That's something I was young. I was just learning. It was more looping up, drum breaks and preloaded stuff that was in there. But yeah, that was the turntables and the Dr. Rhythm. Those were definitely my first pieces of equipment.
So I gotta ask you, man, because I had the Boss Dr. Rhythm as well, man.
Okay.
And you're a sample based producer, but that had no sampler in it. So how are you making beats?
I was basically just, like I said, looping the drums that they had built into the machine, the basic drum loops that they had in there. And what I would do is then, just kind of scratch with my turntables over those drum loops.
Dope.
You know what I mean? And maybe throw, like, if I was fortunate enough to have an acapella on one of the records that I had, I would try to, blend that, what I mean, and make like a little remix with the drum loops that it had going, and then just trying to like get the ear trained, I guess, what I mean, matching BPMs and things like that.
Nice. That's what's up, man. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for you. I can speak for myself. When I had the Boss Dr. Groove, what I was doing was I had turntables and I had a mixer, but in the mixer it had a sampler in it. So I would just take samples, like a 10-second sample, and I would put drums from the Boss Dr. Groove and then record that. But those beats were trash. But like you said, what you were doing was just training your ear and and just getting yourself prepared for making beats, and so you never ever start off being dope. I mean, some people do, but I mean, from my experience, I didn't start off being dope, and it's just a training ground, just a way to get yourself going. So
exactly, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Well, you also mentioned that you went to school in Brookline, the art institute there. How did that help? How did that help you? Did it prepare you? I mean, could you have got where you are without the education, or did it help you?
That's a funny question, because I often think about that, you know what I mean, as I'm paying my student loans down.
Right.
You know, did I really need to go to school to learn, you know, what I know now? And probably not, you know, like I said, I think I probably could have done a little bit more networking while I was there, and that might have had a bigger impact, you know, or effect on my, you know, my career thus far. But, you know, it was good, you know what I mean? But I'll be honest, I kind of thought I was going to be taught how to, you know, like I said, make beats, you know, quote unquote. And it was more the behind the scenes stuff, you know, recording, engineering, mixing, which definitely has helped me. But unfortunately now, you know what I mean? Or I guess you could say fortunately for some kids, you know, you can go on YouTube and you can learn a lot of that stuff.
For sure.
You know, they have mixing tutorials on YouTube, everything like that. So I would say for, you know, any of the younger listeners that might be, you know, thinking about going to school for, you know, audio engineering or anything like that, my biggest suggestion would probably be to network as much as you can while you're there.
Okay, cool,
you know, definitely take in the information and retain, you know, the knowledge that you're getting, but network more than anything. I mean, that even goes to, you know, even if you don't go to college for music, networking is the key to the music industry, in my opinion.
For sure, man. That's what's up, man. Well, thank you for that advice. I mean, past Beats Grinding Life guest Sound Oracle calls YouTube University, and you can learn just about anything you want on there.
Exactly.
You know,
I mean, you don't know how to change a tire, boom, YouTube it.
Yep,
you don't know how to, you know what I mean? You want to change your own oil in your car, boom, YouTube it. You know, like anything.
So that's what's up, man. And you know, I think that, you know, I remember when I went off to school. I didn't go to a music school, but you know, my dad told me the same thing. You know, you're using this opportunity to build relationships, because those relationships you can always count on them once you get out of school, you know. And so it kind of it's kind of the same way, you know, with music school, like you were saying, you know, network, build connections, so that way you can rely on those people later on.
Exactly. Network and build relationships. That's the biggest thing.
Okay. All right, man. Well, what was your first piece of equipment or software? And it sounds like it was that Boss Dr. Groove, and then with that was the MPC 1000. I mean, we talked about the Boss Dr. Groove. Can you talk about the MPC 1000 and how that kind of helped you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that first the first studio session at school, you know, when the kid from Tennessee, my homie Ethan, showed me how to, you know, how he, you know, loaded up some samples, loaded up, you know, because with the MPC, everything is done through the, you know, not an SD card, but similar, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you just, you know, he had samples loaded on that, drums, breaks, everything, you know, and just kind of went through the process. And like I said, I went out and bought one, I think a week or two later, and you know, just sat down and kind of jumped right into it. You know what I mean? I didn't know, you know, I was still picking his brain, and you know, I would bring mine to school and, you know, book a studio session with him, and you know, have him show me things. You know, you know, your kick's too punchy, you know, adjust the attack on it a little bit, you know, and take some of that punch off. Dope. All right, cool. You know, so I was just asking questions, you know what I mean? That's another big thing. You know, if you don't know something, just ask questions, you know, like, right. So the MPC was definitely, you know, it was dope. I don't want to say I wish I still had one, but it was dope. It had a specific sound to it, you know, and it helped me learn patience, I would say, because it's not, you know, nowadays, now I'm using a machine and everything is so quick, right. You know what I mean? Right. Record a sample into it, chop it up, drums, everything is boom, 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 real quick. Right. The MPC, it was a little bit more of a, you know, process involved in loading everything up and getting going. So definitely taught me patience as far as the production goes. Right. That's what's up, man. I mean, even the new MPCs are probably a lot quicker than that old 1000, right? Well, yeah, I mean, some of the new ones, they, you know, it's you get the hardware and you have the software. Right. So, I mean, you can see, you know, the waveforms on the computer, you know, the MPC 1000, the 2500, they got the screens on them still, but, you know, only to, you know, you couldn't really fine tune like you can now if you've got, you know, the software along with it. So, right. definitely taught patience.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the reason why I still love my MP is just for the swing and just that the sound that it provides, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. It has that warm sound to it.
Exactly, man.
Which is tough to get nowadays with, you know what I mean? There's plugins, you know, digital plugins and stuff like that, but nothing's going to be like that, you know, like the piece of equipment, you know?
For sure, Yep, so true, man. Okay. Well, when you first started off, man, you know, when you first got that Boss Dr. Groove and you wanted to get into music production, and then even, you know, beyond that, when you got the MP 1000, who were some of the producers that inspired you? Who were you trying to be like, or who were you, you know, just who were you looking at for inspiration?
You know, so many, man. I don't want to sound cliche, but, you know, obviously, you know, RZA, Premier, Pete Rock, Muggs.
Nice.
You know, those were the original, the OGs, I guess. But as I got older, you know, and dove more into production and, you know, figuring out the samples that producers were using and how they were chopping them, how they were looping them. You know, I would say, you know, cats like Dilla, Madlib, Knots, Kanye. Nowadays, you know, V-Don is, you know, definitely one of the top producers, I would say, out right now. And now I'm more inspired by, you know, my peers, most of all, you know what I mean? Producers like I said, my homie Michelangelo used to go by Mass Appeal Beats. He's out of Boston. Cats like Buck Dudley, the homie Loman from Boston, Clever Schemes, Zumo, you know, John Glass, Flip Jackson. Nice. I'm more inspired, and, you know, by them now, because I hear what they're doing, who they're working with, and that inspires me more than anything. You know what I mean?
Man. For sure, yeah. That's what's up, man. I gotta definitely give a big shout out to John Glass and Flip Jackson, past Beats Grinding Life guests. Truly genuine people and dope producers. So I just have to throw that in. But you started off by saying, I don't want to sound cliche, and, you know, a lot of those producers are named on here a lot. But it's not cliche because, you know, just going off a certain guest, you know, I mean, like the last guest that was on here, he didn't mention any of those names, so it's not cliche to mention the RZA and Premier and all those guys. But then what I thought was cool was the next set of guys that you mentioned, like the Knots, like the Dilla, like the Madlibs. You know, those are like our favorite producers, you know. So it's
exactly,
those aren't the ones that are out in the, you know, those aren't the big name producers. They're not on TV or anything, but the guys that are on TV, their favorite producers are those guys, you know. So that's what's up. And then what I took from your answer is the one thing that I liked is, you know, you're looking at your peers, and they're probably looking back at you, gaining inspiration as well. And I think that's just dope, man, that you have surrounded yourself around, you know, people that can uplift you, and you're gaining motivation and inspiration from. That's dope, man.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I you could ask anybody, you know what I mean? I was, before we got on the call here, I was, you know, texting Glass, you know, what are you up to today? You know, I live, you know, 20 minutes away from where he has a studio. So I'm always back and forth down there, just, you know, either we're collaborating on beats or, you know, even just picking each other's brains, and, you know, how are you doing this? How am I, you know, how are you doing that? You know, just, you can never get enough knowledge, you know what I mean, from other producers, and, you know, what they're doing, what's working for them, and, you know, sharing ideas, man. That's what it's all about, you know what I mean? I'm not one of those producers that's like, oh, I found out the secret and I'm going to keep that to myself. Like, no, I got to share, you got to share that shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, as the producer community, you know what I mean? You got to help each other out, you know?
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I'm
32.
32. Okay, well, this is what I was gonna say is, back in the day, I do remember that amongst producers did hold secrets. Producers wouldn't tell you where they got a sample, or they wouldn't, share drums.
Well, that's different. Like I might not tell you where, what sample I flipped, but I'm gonna tell you, you know what I mean? Oh,
like a technique.
This is working for me as far as networking goes,
right.
Or the last release that I dropped, it did well because this is how I set it up, or what I mean? Like I'm gonna help you out with stuff like that. I'm not going to give you my samples. No way.
Right. Well, yeah, samples, but I guess where I was going with it was, even like drums, producers were really protective of their drums, but nowadays that isn't really the case, where you got producers selling their drums or giving drums away, so I think things have changed in that way a little bit, but
I'll share kits, you know what I mean? If I get a new drum kit, you know what I mean, then that somebody, one of the homies doesn't have, send it over there, and oh, do you have this one? Nah, I don't have that. They send it back, you know what I mean? So definitely sharing drums, but the samples, that's a touchy subject.
I hear you on that. I definitely understand, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you brought that up, and it's definitely beneficial to surround yourself with like-minded people and people that are just as hungry as you are. And so I'm definitely glad that you brought that up, and and it's just a reminder to me as well, that I need to be doing the same thing, and definitely networking, and just just staying connected to people. So thank you, man.
Absolutely, man.
All right, man. Well, on Beats Grinding Life, you may know this, I'm not sure, but I do try to bring pain to the guest. I do try to make the guest cry just a little bit, because I want to touch up on the touchy subjects. I want to talk about the setbacks and the failures, man. So it is my duty, my job, to try to make you cry on here. So I want to know, man, what is a major setback or failure that you've had that you could tell us that you've bounced back from, so maybe we can try to avoid the pitfalls. Maybe. I mean, some failures are just inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got to be honest. I can't. There's nothing that comes to mind off the top. As a major setback or or a failure. I don't want to sound cocky or anything like that, but my first. My first beat battle, I standard competition that I did, you know what I mean? My first chance, my first time even playing beats outside of, the homies, really, you know what I mean? Playing them for a crowd. I actually placed third, you know what I mean? And I didn't expect that, because I didn't know, you know what I mean? Your friends are always going to tell you, yeah, that shit's dope, you know what I mean? But you never really know, so... I mean, I actually, I went to, so I placed third in that. I did a couple other ones, and then got invited to go to the Beast of the Beats in Atlanta a couple years ago. Okay. And I got knocked out in the first round. You know what I mean? And that was, so I guess, that was kind of, a failure, I guess. And I mean, I don't know, some other producers might have at that point been like, you know what, that's it. I guess I'm not good enough. But, I didn't really look at it that way. I was like, you know what, maybe beat battles aren't my thing. Right. So I kind of turned it around and started to network with artists. Nice. And, all right, I like this person, I like that person, and kind of went a different route. You know what I mean? Because I look at the beat battles like, there are certain producers that kill that lane. Right. You know what I mean? That are absolutely phenomenal at making beat battle beats. Right. And then there's producers that make records with artists. And that's how I looked at it. I said, all right, well, maybe I'm not a beat battle producer, because I just didn't do well in that. Right. So I took it and I went, all right, I'm going to try to make music with artists, because I knew my beats were dope. You know what I mean? I had artists telling me, yo, your shit's dope. This is dope. This is dope. So I said, all right, I'm going to take it that way then. Started networking with artists, and, the rest is, as they say, history.
Nice. Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, you've definitely created a lane for yourself outside of beat battles, and you're definitely building your brand the right way, man. I share the same experience. You know, I went to Beast of the Beats in Atlanta as well and got knocked out in the first round, and I took it very, very hard, even though like you were saying, you know, I didn't come prepared. I came with like album type of beats, or beats that you would, you know, submit for an album and not for a beat battle. And I learned really quick the difference, you know. And so
exactly, you know what I mean. So it is what it is, man. You learn from that experience, and like I say, you say to yourself, all right, well, that's not the type of producer that I am.
Right, for sure, man, for sure.
Plain and simple, you know what I mean.
Well, I'm glad that you know, found that in yourself, and you had some self-awareness, you know, early on, and you didn't let it kill your spirit. You didn't let it stop you from creating, you know, your brand. So that's what's up, man. Beat grinders, I hope you guys are listening. If you guys have experienced the same thing, just look at Vinyl Villain, you know, and just look at what he's done. You know, he's definitely creating a lane for himself, and definitely setting himself up for success. So, all right, man. Well, let's hop on to the other side of this, man. We just touched on, you know, the not so great moments of your career. Now let's talk about the greatest moment of your career. What would you consider your greatest achievement?
Up to this point, I would say, you know, the latest release that I just dropped with Ito from Rochester, the new Crack Era project that we dropped, did really well. You know what I mean? Everybody received that really well. Nice. 75 CDs that I sold out.
Wow.
You know, and it literally is like you said, we go from one end of the spectrum to the other end. You know what I mean? Like I said, I lost that beat battle and said, all right, I'm not a beat battle producer. I'm, you know, more geared to working with artists. And boom, right there, one of my greatest achievements is, you know, networking with Ito and you know, selling out CDs and even, you know, CRIMEAPPLE too. I did a cassette single with CRIMEAPPLE and my homie from City Yard Music here in Boston, Grubby Paws. And we sold out the cassettes, 30 cassettes in less than an hour.
Damn. Wow.
You know what I mean? So those are definitely, I would say, as of right now, two of my greatest, you know, achievements.
Yeah, for sure.
And that comes from networking with different artists, you know.
Right. That's what's up, man. That's tight. Man, two dope artists as well, man. I mean, CRIMEAPPLE is he's really coming up, bubbling up for sure, man. Definitely one of my favorite artists that I've been listening to here lately. Ito is a tight artist as well. I gotta commend you guys on the project that you guys released. It's a dope project. I've been listening to it the last few days. And so, Beat Grinders, if you guys haven't heard it, I'd suggest that you definitely listen to it. So,
yeah, new Crack Era. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, all your stream services. If you're a YouTube person, it's on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, you can get that anywhere. The CDs are all gone, but you can, you know, it's out in the digital world everywhere. Same with the CRIMEAPPLE joint. That's the song 1212s. iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, it's, you know, it's out there too.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Okay. All right, man. Well, what does a typical day look like for you? You know, here on Beats Grind on Life, we're always striving for greatness, and one way to do that is to set, you know, your day up for success. And man, you're definitely killing it right now, man. So I just want to just learn how are you setting your day up, so maybe I can mimic your day and try to get the same results.
Right now, I'm in the process of mixing some of the, you know, new projects that I'm working on. So Right now, I'm kind of, you know, I'm getting up and just getting right to mixing. Like I said prior to the call, you know, where I just sent Fast Life, you know, the first mixes of the project that we're working on, and he's been sending me some notes, you know, all this, you know, let's adjust this, let's adjust that. So, you know, tomorrow morning that'll be what I get to. You know, wake up and go right to those notes and start doing that. That's usually, you know, takes up the early morning, afternoon, and then, as the night approaches, I'll, start looking for samples, get back to creating some new stuff to send out. You know what I mean? Just always staying busy. But the other thing too is, unfortunately, it's a gift and a curse. But you got to try to stay active on social media too. And
for sure,
let people know, what you're working on. Promoting, doing all that. So I mean, it's a mix of everything right now. But I would say, I'm probably sitting in my computer chair, staring at my computer, for probably 12 to 13 hours a day.
That's what's up, man.
Whether it's mixing, creating, I'm sitting in one chair for the better part of the day.
Okay. And right now, I mean, while you're in mixing mode, mixing albums, so you said you're doing that in the morning to early afternoon. And then after that you're working, you're trying to create more beats. How much time is spent on social media?
You got to find a balance, man. Do you
like set a certain amount of time, or is it like sporadically throughout the day, or what?
No, it's sporadic. Nowadays they have, I think the iPhone, I'm not sure if Android phones have it or not, but they tell you, at the end of the week, like how much time you've spent on your phone and stuff like that, which is, again, a good and a bad thing. But, no, it's just, if I'm mixing something, I might take a screenshot and just post a screenshot on my story, with the artist, just to let people, you know what I mean? And in doing that, then I have people that hit me up and send me a message, and they're like, oh, you're working with so-and-so, like, what are you guys doing? And that gives me the opportunity then to kind of, build that up so that when it does drop, now I've got more people looking for it, people almost waiting for that project,
That's dope. Yeah, for sure, man. Well, it seems like you are busy. Do you spend a lot of time consuming on social media? Do you look at other people? I mean, do you look at some of your some of the people that you make music with, or are you looking at some of your idols on social media, or is it just all posting content?
Most of the time, I'm just posting content. I tend not to try not to get lost in that infinite scroll that is, social media now, because you could just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll.
Yep.
But I watch the stories on Instagram more than anything. What I mean? I think that's a big thing. But again, that's something easy to get lost in too. So I'll watch, a couple things, I might, go specifically to, like, I know Muggs is dropping a project with Ito, and he's Muggs right now is working harder than any of the other producers out that I see. He's back and forth with all these different artists. So he's a big one that I check for all the time to see what he's up to. And then the supporters, man, you know what I mean? The DJs that are playing, the stuff that I've dropped, Julian Hernandez, Big Earn over at Soul Assassins, DJ Sham from, over in Belgium, PF Cuttin in New York. I know I'm going to forget people, like I hate doing that, but that's a big thing too. You know what I mean? You got to support, the people that support you.
Right. For sure, man. For sure. That's what's up, man. Well,
so that's the thing too. Like if I'm, if I see, they tag me in their playlist, I'm reposting that. I got to repost that. You know what I mean? Like I said, support the people that support you is big.
Nice, man. Well, thank you for that, man. Because I do know that like you said, you can get caught up in that scroll and
it's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. I mean, when we all have done it, I do it, and but just to kind of I've tried to be aware of it and try not to do it. But like you said, if you can just get on there and support the ones that are supporting you, I think that would make a good balance on your social media intake. So. That's what's up, man. Well, thank you for that, man, and thank you for shedding light on what you do in your typical day, and maybe I can try to incorporate that into what I do. So, thank you, man.
No doubt.
All right, man. Well, this next portion is called In the Studio. I'm going to try to learn, figure out what you do in the studio, how you do it, and what you do it with. So I want to know, man, what do you do when you first start crafting beats? Do you have a set ritual? Do you start off with drums, melody, sample? What do you do?
Usually the samples are coming first, but I would say listening first and foremost, you know what I mean? Just nice. Listening to, records. I got a pretty extensive collection of vinyl here. So, I mean, I'll throw a record on and, I might, that might be when I hop on social media real quick and I quick scroll, while I'm listening to a record until I hear something that hits me, and then, exactly, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, most of the time it's vinyl, although my homie Shroom, who I think he's also a past beats grinding lifer. Yeah. He makes sample packs, and every time he drops one, he hits me with it. Sends it through WeTransfer, and so I've been getting a lot of my samples lately from his packs. But I'll go back. It'll go back and forth. Between the records that I have and the sample packs that Shroom sends me. Some of the other like Beat Butcher just dropped his new drum kit. He's got some dope like melodies and stuff like that in it. But yeah, I mean, it always, I want to say 90% of the time start with the sample or the melody and then go to the drums. If I'm having a hard time figuring out where the sample's gonna go, then I'll maybe load up a drum break, chop up a drum break or something like that, just to get something kind of going, and then try to chop up the sample or find a loop that goes with that drum break. And then 9 times out of 10 too, if I start that way, that won't even end up being the drum break that stays with it. I'll use that kind of, like I said, just to kind of set me up, take that out, and then reprogram some other drums.
Dope. I'm feeling that. Okay, that's what's up, man. Best place to buy vinyl in the New England area, or best place that you like, or your favorite spot to go. Without giving away too much, there might be a spot that you don't want to tell us.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, because not everybody has the same ear. We're not going to dig for the same stuff, and you know what I mean. But there's 2 spots that I really like to go. One is the Record Exchange in Salem, Massachusetts, which is really dope. They got a pretty dope collection. The guy that runs the store, he's a good guy too. I mean, I've been in there so many times that he knows what I'm looking for too. So
nice. If
I go in there and I do my dig and then I head up to the register, he might see that I don't have something that he thought I might like, and he'll be like, oh, you didn't see that, or you're not grabbing that today, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even see it, and he'll run over and grab it for me, and you want to add this? I'm like, yeah, of course, man.
Dope.
And then there's another spot that's relatively new. I think maybe a year old, or not even. I'm not sure, but it is definitely a newer spot. Vinyl Index in Somerville. It's actually owned by 7L and Esoteric.
Okay.
So, and he's a dope producer, so he's got gems in there. And that spot's dope too, because sometimes he'll write, not write on the record, but there'll be like a little fake Obi strip on it and it'll say, good for drum breaks, or really dope psych record, or so he's got a lot of good stuff. Some of it's a little bit pricey, but you gotta pay for the good stuff, you know what I mean? It's just like anything else in this world.
Exactly, man. That's what's
so
up,
yeah,
man.
I mean, those are the two spots: the Record Exchange in Salem, Mass, and Vinyl Index in Somerville.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing those, man. If there's anybody in the New England area and you guys are diggers, definitely go there if you haven't. And I'm just gonna keep those places in mind in case I do, travel up to that region. So that's what's up, man. Do you ever dig like on YouTube, or do you have cassettes or CDs, or is it just all strictly vinyl?
For the most part, it's vinyl. I do, sometimes, like I said, I'll use a Shroom sample pack. if I can't find anything on a record that I have, or if I haven't, if I've exhausted, the records that I do have, I'll hop on YouTube and see, there's a couple YouTube channels that I'll hit up and see, see what they're working with. But a lot of them, they got, I'll tend not to use something on YouTube that has 56,000 views. You know what I mean? I'm more inclined to go for the samples that 200-300 views on it. I try to pride myself in using samples that haven't been used before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hear you on that. That's one reason why I don't like sample packs, because I just know that tons of other producers are using those sounds. But then I got to remind myself, well, when I'm sampling a record, I'm sure that there's tons of other producers that have sampled the same record. So unless you're getting something like
and you may flip it. You may flip it totally different too.
Oh,
you know what I mean? You never know. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of like that, because when the sample packs first started coming out, the Frank Dukes and the King Sway vinyl, those, I was big into those, because I was like, yo, these are crazy.
Right.
But then I kind of realized what you just said, and I'm like, there's a ton of other producers buying these sample packs and using the same samples. So what's really going to separate my beat from their beat?
Right.
And that's when I really kind of got back into the vinyl and, trying to find more exclusive, rare stuff.
Dope, man. Dope. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what's up, man. Well, thank you for that, man. Thank you for that answer. Like I said, if I'm ever in that area, I'm definitely gonna hit those spots up. Especially the second one what was the second one called again?
Vinyl Index.
Vinyl Index. Because just back in the day, I was a fan of 7L and Esoteric. And I didn't know that 7L opened up a record shop. So that's
it's
what's up,
dope.
Man. Okay. All right, man. Well, what's a not so secret weapon that you have in the studio?
My 404A, my SP 404.
Nice.
It's the newest addition to the setup. But I'll run I have my turntable and my mixer, hooked up to that. So I'll run samples through the 404 to get, different textures and add the different filters and stuff like that to really kind of make it my own.
Okay. I'm really gonna have to check that out. I've noticed some producers on here have been talking about those here lately, and I never really understood, the big deal about those samplers.
The sounds that you get out of them are crazy, man.
Really?
Like the built-in compressor and stuff like that. Like, the 303, and the 404 SX or like the 404 original. Those are like the best ones that you can get, but you can't find them new anymore. Every one that you buy is going to be used, and I'm big on getting something new that I can get a warranty on, in case something goes wrong with it. So I went with the 404A, which is a little bit different than the SX and the 303, but it still has, like I said, a really dope compressor built into it, and just the different effects. On top of it, I use it for live sets too, you know what I mean? Really? So if I have to do a live beat set, it's a smaller piece of equipment to bring. I don't have to bring my laptop. I could just bring that.
Dope. That's what's up, man. Okay.
So it's definitely a good piece of equipment to have. I would definitely suggest that.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm definitely going to look into them a little more. Of course, I did some research, and but I never really understood the big deal. Like I know you have other drum machines, and I was like, well, why would you, why would you bring that piece into your studio? But like you said, the built-in effects that they have are crazy and unmatched with anything else out there. So I'm gonna have to look into it. All right, man. Well, what else do you have in your studio? What equipment or software do you currently have in your arsenal at the moment?
My setup's pretty simple: record player, mixer, machine, 404.
Okay. That is pretty simple.
I try not to get too, I'm a sample-based producer, so I'm not, I'm not playing keys. I'm not, I'm not really doing too much of that. So it's, I keep it simple and, just try to work with what I have.
That's awesome, man. That's dope. I mean, just I'm really feeling, I'm a fan of your music, and just to know that, you know, you're creating the sound that you are creating with just a limited amount of equipment is wow, man. I'm shocked. I'm in awe right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at some of the classics that we've been blessed with by other producers. You know what I mean? Like a lot of those are, you know, SP 1200s. You know what I mean? Sampling right into a SP 1200 or, you know, an MPC 60 or the 2000 XL. You know what I mean? Like, usually, you know, my opinion on it is, you know, keep it simple always. You know, simplicity is always gonna win.
Yep, for sure, man, for sure. That's something that we
and I do mix in, you know, Pro Tools. You know, as far as, you know, vocal tracking, recording, you know, mixing. I use Pro Tools for that.
Okay, and you have a MacBook Pro?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. All right, man. Well, Beat Grinders, if there's anything that Vinyl Villain said that perked your interest, that you want to do some research on, you can definitely go to beachgrindandlife.com and look under Vinyl Villain show notes, and I'll definitely have a list of everything that he mentioned. So, all right, man. Well, this next portion is called In the Mix. We're just going to speed it up. It's like a lightning round. I'm going to ask you some quick questions. You respond with a quick answer, but if you need to take your time to elaborate on one of these questions, that is definitely encouraged, man. So, I want to know, man, do you prefer using, we already know the answer to this, but I'm just going to ask it anyway. Do you prefer making beats with samples or without samples?
Samples all day. Samples all day, man.
All right. What's your opinion on selling and leasing beats online?
I've never personally done it, but if that's your thing, then by all means keep doing it. I would rather build relationships with the artists that I work with, and I tend to feel like putting beats online to either sell or lease, you kind of lose touch with the artist, and you may never even end up hearing the final product. Right. And as a producer, I always want to hear the final product.
Right, for sure, man.
You know what I mean? So that's my take on that.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, I like the way that you're doing it, man. You're building with artists, and, you know, it seems like 9 times out of 10, not only are you just making a song with an artist, but you're making a project with an artist. And I'm definitely feeling that, man. So
appreciate it.
Yep. All right, man. What's a plugin that you have that you think, a plugin or VST that you have that you think every producer should have in their arsenal?
Our channel from the Waves bundle.
Nice. Okay. What's a book that you've read that you think every producer could benefit from reading? And it doesn't have to be a book about music production or music. It could be about anything.
My brother-in-law actually just got me for Christmas this book, The 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos by Jordan Peterson. And I haven't finished it yet, but I did start it, and it's, you know, so far it's pretty good. Okay.
Wow, I haven't heard of that one. I'm definitely gonna check that out when I get off of this call. That's what's up, man. Okay. Well, Beat Grinders, if that book perked your interest, you guys might go want to check it out on audible.com. If you guys are like me, I don't have time to read anymore. Even though I do enjoy reading, I don't have time to read anymore, so I have to rely on audiobooks. And if you guys want, you can go to beatsbooks.com. Go get a free book from audible.com. Just sign up for a month. The month is free. You can cancel at the end of the month and keep your free book. So once again, that's beatbooks.com. All right, man, I want to know, is there an internet resource that you use that you think every producer could benefit from? And when I say internet resource, I mean a website or a mobile app. A mobile app being like Google Calendars maybe, or a website being like YouTube.
I mean, YouTube, like we said earlier, YouTube, you can literally learn anything, you know what I mean? So YouTube is definitely, you know, it's a big one. I know a lot of producers, you know, are like against Who Sampled, you know, the website Who Sampled. Well, because there's a lot, you know, they consider it sample snitching, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people out there that consider it that. I use it to benefit from, kind of. I'll, you know, if I find a sample or hear a dope sample, I'm going to Who Sampled to see if anybody sampled it, because like I said, I try to pride myself in using samples that other people haven't used.
Right.
So if I find something on vinyl, on YouTube that's dope that I want to use, I'm popping on Who Sampled to see if anybody else used it before.
Right.
And if not,
sure.
I'm getting to work. If so, I'm back to the drawing board.
Okay. I like that answer, man. That's what's up. I never knew that people didn't like Who Sampled and considered it snitching, because I mean, just being a hip hop fan, if I heard someone be like, "Ooh, damn, where'd they get that sample from?" And so when Who Sampled came out, I thought it was the best website in the world. And then, like you said, you can always look at it to see if anyone, used the sample that you're about to use. So
yeah, I try to use it for my benefit,
That's awesome, man. Okay. Well, thank you for those beat grinders. If you guys aren't familiar with you should be familiar with YouTube. If you're not, you're living under a fucking rock. But if you guys aren't familiar with YouTube or Who Sampled, definitely go check those out. They are great resources. So, all right, I want to know, man, what was your first placement? And I want, because a lot of us don't have placements, and we want to know what it's like to get a placement. And maybe your story can inspire, motivate us to go out and get that placement.
I think my first relatively major decent placement was probably the Token record that I did with John Glass.
Nice.
And that came from just a collaboration with Glass. Like I said, I'm only about 20 minutes from his studio, so I'm there all the time. And like I said, we're either collaborating, cooking up, or picking each other's brains. And yeah, one night I went down there and we just made a bunch of beats. And I never know what's gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen. And then I think I don't know, it might have been a couple weeks, might have even been a month later, I got a text message from Glass, and he was like, Token's gonna use one of those joints for his project. And that was that, you know what I mean? And funny story, it happened also with the Reks joint that me and Glass also collaborated on. Same deal, went to the studio, made a bunch of joints. A little while later, I get that text message from Glass, and Reks is going to use this joint on his project.
That's dope.
So it's always good to get text messages from John Glass.
Right, for sure, man. That's what's up. Wow, that's dope right there. I mean, Reks, legendary Boston MC. Somebody I grew up listening to as well. I was heavy into underground hip hop, and so Reks has been on the radar for me for a while. So I'm pretty sure for you being in Boston, that was a big deal. Token as well, up and coming artist. He's been an up and coming artist for a while. It seems like he's gonna break through and gonna hit that mainstream here pretty soon. But I'm sure that had to be a big one as well, man. That's what's up, man. So beat grinders. Advice to you: get in touch with John Glass. He's so that you can get a text.
Collaborate. What
right.
I mean? I would say the biggest thing to take away from that is collaborate with people, man. Like I said, you never know. You know what I mean? Like me and John have great chemistry when we get in the studio. You know what I mean? It's right to work. There's no bullshitting or anything like that. And yeah, I mean, we've placed a few records. Even lately, some beats that we make, I can't really speak on who has them right now, but there could be some big shit coming. You know what I mean? So it's collaborate with people, man. Don't be that producer that just wants to do it all yourself.
Dope, man. Dope. That's awesome right there. I'm glad that you said that, because I mean, just looking at myself, sometimes I am that guy that not necessarily wants, but I do things all to myself, kind of a lone wolf. And so, that's not the way that you're going to get ahead in this game. You got to
you collaborate with somebody, and that could be your breakout, your breakout moment. And then from there, you know what I mean? Then you might have other people that reach out to you that want to collaborate, or other artists that now, because you got that placement, now they're looking at you for stuff. And I mean, it definitely can open some doors for you, man.
Dope. That's awesome. Well, thank you for those words, man. Really appreciate it, because that hits home for me. I know what I got to do, and so, man, wow. Thank you for that. Like I said, it hit home. So appreciate it. And
of course, man.
Beat grinders, definitely listen to Vinyl Villain. Like I said before, he's definitely producer that's gonna break through here pretty soon, and so he's definitely given us the blueprint on how to do it. All right, man. Well, what's your favorite song that you ever produced?
Favorite song that I've ever produced? I would probably say right now is probably Perdition with Ito off the new release, the new Crack Era release.
Nice.
The joint Perdition. Yeah, I mean, I love it, and you know, the feedback that I've been getting from the project has been great, but a lot of people tend to like that song more than anything else, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely, that's a dope one. That was a dope sample too, you know what I mean? And don't ask, I'm not going to tell you what sample it was, but
I wasn't even going to. I've been listening to everything you've been saying, and so I know that's off limits. So
but yeah, no, everything from the sample, the drums, you know, and Ito just killed it, man. So yeah, that's probably my favorite so far.
Okay, that's what's up. Well, I mean, I've been listening to the album at the gym, and so, you know, I just been letting it run. So I'm definitely gonna, when I get off of here, I'm gonna go back and look for Perdition. So, all right, man. Well, and Beat Grinders, you guys do the same thing. New Crack Era, Perdition, go check it out. If you want to, you can pause this interview right now and go listen to it and come back to the interview. So. All right, well, what's an album that you recommend that all producers listen to that you have not worked on, and why?
Mad Villainy.
Nice. Why do you suggest that one?
Well, to go back even to when we were talking about the SP, you know, the way that Madlib chopped some of those samples and looped some of that stuff up, and the fact that he did a lot of it with a portable turntable and a 303 proves that, you know, you don't need a lot of fancy equipment, and you know, all the, you know, you don't need that big studio to make a classic album with longevity, because I mean, that's a classic album that, you know, you can put on right now and play that front to back, and you know, that's just, it's a dope album.
Wow, that's crazy. I think somebody else mentioned that too, that he made that whole album with the 303. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah,
so like, I mean, it like I said, it proves that you don't need a lot of fancy equipment to get the job done.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what's up. Well, I'm gonna listen to it a little later, and now with a different ear for it, you know. And that's dope, man. That's dope. Well, man, I'm gonna ask you just to imagine. We're gonna get into imaginative mode now here, man. Put on your thinking cap and get your creative juices flowing, man. I want to know if you had to create a whole new Mount Rushmore with producers' faces on there, what producers would be on your Mount Rushmore?
Alchemist, Madlib, Premier, and Pete Rock.
Oh man, wow. Classic.
And I know, like, dope. That's probably, you know, I'm sure a lot of people probably say that, and I think I've even heard it before on, you know, somebody on other people's interviews, but I mean, that's mine, you know what I mean?
No, man, that's I mean, yeah, I asked you for yours, you know, and I didn't ask you to name 4 people that you think other people would be okay with you putting up there, you know. So I mean, that's what's up, and you know, there's nothing cliche about that. Because Alchemist is rarely named on here for Mount Rushmore, which I think is fucking crazy. He's
yeah, man. Talk about longevity, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, right.
Crazy.
Right. He's been doing it for decades, man. Decades, and I mean, you know, you're a big Muggs fan, so I mean, and he's an understudy of Muggs. He came from that camp. So,
exactly.
And then Madlib is rarely mentioned for this question as well, which is kind of crazy to me.
Which is even crazier, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, man, so, but yeah, P-Rock, DJ Premier, always for this question, but I love that answer, man, and I mean, if you ask me on a certain day, man, I'd probably give the same answer, so that's
you know, up. And that could change tomorrow, right? But, you know, It is what it is right now.
Yep. All right, man, well, I want to know, man. I want you to imagine that you just walked out of the perfect studio session. You're walking out of the studio with the biggest smile on your face because you just worked with one artist, one producer, one engineer, and one random person of your dreams. Who are those 4 people going to be that make up your perfect studio session?
I would say the artist would be Teddy Andreas.
Okay.
The producer would be V Don. The
Nice.
engineer would be D Polo.
Okay.
And the random person would probably be, I would probably say Flip Jackson, just because he's got like a good, he's got a good aura to him. You know what I mean? He's always like brings good energy. You know what I mean? He's got a good energy to him, and I would say Flip Jackson got to be there too.
Nice.
Plus, he got the good smoke too. So
That's for sure. That's for sure. And if you don't like smokes, he got good edibles too. So that's what's
that's
up,
a
man.
fact. That's a fact too.
All right, man. Well, you're gonna have to school me just a little bit, man. And I'm sorry, man. Excuse me for my ignorance, but I don't know who Teddy Andreas is.
Oh man, do your research, man. Nah, he's relatively new. I mean, I don't want to say he's relatively new. He's been doing it for a minute, but he's he's got some joints out there, man. He did a whole project. I think most of it was actually V Don and Kill from Atlanta.
Okay.
And that's really what put me on to Teddy. But yeah,
Nice.
he's nice, man. He's nice. He actually, I just came across too yesterday on YouTube. A while back, he was up at Ebro in the Morning, I think, with Biggie's son.
Oh, okay.
And and Teddy washed him, but but yeah, nah, Teddy's really dope. He's been dropping a lot of new music recently too. He just dropped another joint with V Don, just singles. He just dropped something with joint called Dynasties, produced by Graph. So yeah, I mean he's got a lot of dope music out there. Joint called Diamonds, produced by VHS. Like he's really dope, man. He's got a really dope flow.
Okay.
Really dope cadence. Yeah, and I've met him before, and he's just a really cool dude. Yeah, he's really down to earth and
Dope.
that would be, he's an up and coming artist that, that's who I'm aiming to work with right now.
That's what's up, man. Well, I'm definitely gonna check for him. And another person, D Polo. I'm sorry. Who is he? Who is he engineered for, or what?
D Polo does a lot of engineering for V Don.
Okay.
So he mixed. He actually mixed New Crack Era for me and Ito.
Nice.
Along with Glass. Glass mixed the beats for me, and D Polo mixed the vocals.
Dope.
D Polo I think he just did the whole mix for the Heather Gray project that Ito, V Don, and Willie the Kid just dropped too. So he does a lot of engineering for V Don. Pretty much I think anything that you've heard from him has been touched by D Polo. Yeah,
Nice.
he's really dope engineer, and again, like a humble dude. You know what I mean? We easy to talk to. Yo, can you do this for me? Can you adjust this, that?
Nice.
Really accommodating as far as engineering goes. Yeah, and his mixes are fucking dope.
Okay. Well, that's what's up, man. Well, I mean, this does sound like it would be the perfect session for you, and honestly, man, it doesn't seem like it's that far out of reach. I mean, you've brushed shoulders with Teddy Andreas, you've worked with D Polo. The way that you're grinding, I mean, eventually you're gonna get there with V Don, and Flip Jackson's the homie, man. So I mean, this doesn't seem like it's too far.
We're gonna make that happen, man. We're gonna make that happen. I'm gonna send that to you on a snap.
Hey, man, I can't wait to see it, man. That would be what's up, man. That would definitely be what's up. I always say, hopefully it can come to fruition, but this one I can definitely see happening like really, really soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that happen, man. We're gonna make that happen.
For sure, man. I know you will, man. That's what's up. And Beat Grinders, you guys definitely follow Vinyl Villain on all social media platforms so you can see it happen as well. So, all right. Well, I want to know, man, if you woke up tomorrow and you lost everything that you had, including all your equipment, all your money, except, well, let me take that back. All your equipment, all your contacts, and all you had was $1,000 and your knowledge that you've gained throughout the years, what would you do to restart your career?
I would buy. Wait, so I got $1,000?
Yep, $1,000, and you have your knowledge that you've gained.
I would buy a portable turntable with some RCA outputs. I would buy either a SP303 or a 404. And then with whatever money I had left over, I would buy some records.
Dope. That's what's up. I mean,
and get back to chefing.
Yeah, I mean, Madlib just showed you that that's all you need, right?
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Simplicity is the key, man. Yep. So if I only have $1,000 and I know what I know now, that's what I'm getting, man. And and like I said, I'm getting back to work.
Exactly. Yep. So at this point, we can throw out the warranty. I mean, if you're getting the 303.
Yeah, we're not. You know what I mean? The warranty is null and void now.
Right.
I only have $1,000. You know what I mean? So I gotta work with what I have.
I feel you, man. Well, I think the most important thing to this question is, you said you have your knowledge, and I mean, that can take you a long way. I mean, just imagine when you first started, if you knew everything that you knew back then, I mean, you would be light years ahead of where you are. So I mean, just having that knowledge and just getting started, man, that would be great. But the reason why I do ask this question is because there's guys out there that want to get started in music production, don't have a lot of money, and they want to know where to start. And I think that this answer that you gave will definitely give some people, will put them in the right direction, man. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, man.
All right, man. Well, I want to know, what does legacy mean to you? And when it's all said and done and this music thing is over for you, I want to know, what do you want your legacy to be?
What do I want my legacy to be? Just that, that I was one of the dopest producers to do it. Ultimately, I mean, I think that's what every producer, ultimately wants, but somebody that never really, never sacrificed, what they were really about to make it. You know what I mean? I want to just stay the road that I'm on, stay the road that I've been on, and continue to do great things, without sacrificing, who I've been up to this point, without sacrificing the brand or anything like that.
That's dope, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. What does sacrificing the brand mean? Does it mean making music that you don't want to make?
Yeah, I'll never be one of those people that, that want, oh, well, we're looking for, more of a trappy type, or we want you to do this. Like, my sound is my sound, man. And I'll tell you a quick story real quick. Yeah. Al Divino actually put me on the straight and narrow. I'll always give Al Divino credit for this. I went over his house one day to play him beats because he's, he lives relatively close to me too. And he's always been an artist that I wanted to work with because he's really dope. And went over his crib to play him beats one day, and we playing some shit, and he's feeling it, he's liking it, but he stopped me at one point, and he was like, bro, he's like, your name is Vinyl Villain. He was like, your drums sound too clean. He was like, you gotta dirty them shits up, man. He was like, your shit gotta be raw if your name is Vinyl Villain. And ever since that session with Divino, I've never looked back, bro. Everything has remained raw. You know what I mean? Everything remains raw.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
You know what I mean? So I will always credit Al Divino for that, for putting me on the straight and narrow as far as getting the production in line with my name and the brand and everything like that. That man really fucking helped me out when it came to that.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Well, you're living up to your moniker, man. I love it, man. I love it.
And if you're not familiar with Al Divino, do the knowledge and check him out too, because he is fucking bananas, man. He is definitely one of the dopest out right now.
Okay, I'm writing his name down right now. Al Divino.
Al Divino. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I mean, how dope is that some of your favorite artists and producers are like walking distance from where you live?
Oh, it's great, man. That's what I love about living where I live, man. You know what I mean? Like, this area is full of talent. You know what I mean? There's so much going on in Boston right now, and around around the Boston area, Lynn, Lawrence, Lowell. There's just so much going on that.
Nice.
It's easy to network out here. It's really easy to network. And I'm not too far from, Boston's 4 hours from New York. So I'm back and forth to New York all the time, too, networking with the cats out there, too.
Dope, man. That's awesome. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, I want to know, man, what's the greatest piece of advice that you've received coming up in this game? And what advice would you have for all the beat grinders listening today?
Invest in yourself.
Nice.
First and foremost, always, man, you got to invest in yourself, because if you're waiting for somebody to come along and, sign you or give you a check or whatever, you're going to be waiting for a long fucking time, man. I'm telling you that right now. You got to invest in yourself, because it proves to people that, that
you're worth
that you might be worth it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, he's willing to invest in himself, and then turn around and make that work for you. You know what I mean? I'm not ashamed to say I've invested. I've bought verses off some of the dopest artists out right now, and that has gotten me to where I am now. You know what I mean? And it also helps you build relationships with those artists, because again, like, I'll tell you like this: as producers, we always, you get artists you may not know them, send you a message and they'll be like, yo, I need beats, how much for beats, whatever. You give them the price, they disappear. You never hear from them again. You, as a producer, you probably think, oh, he ain't serious in his career. He's just another fucking, wants to upload it to SoundCloud for his, 20 friends, and that's it.
Right.
So we don't think that we don't take them serious.
Right.
Rappers that charge for verses, or that are, they might be a couple steps ahead of you in the game, that are charging for verses and shit, it's the same exact thing. When you reach out to them, they hit you with the price. If you pull that money out of your pocket and say, you know what, yeah, I'm ready to invest, they look at that and they say, all right, this kid's investing in himself.
Right.
Versus you turn around and you say, oh, I can't do that, or, oh, can you, lower it? I'm really only trying to do this or that.
Right.
They're not going to take you serious. So investing in yourself is the quickest and easiest way to, like you said, prove yourself and prove your worth. You know what I mean? To other people. That's
dope, man. That's a great way to put it, man. I never really thought about it that way. The same way we're looking at artists, that are pulling away, when you start speaking about money, is the same way that artists look at you, when you back.
Exactly. You think, all right, they're not serious about their career. So you got, invest, whether you're an artist or producer, investing in yourself is the best way to go about it, and proving that, you're worth it, almost, that you're worth the investment, and then take that investment, take if you buy a beat, you buy a beat from a dope producer that you think is dope and you want to work with, turn around and, make a single, put that shit on iTunes, get some dope artwork, make a cassette. The shit that I did with CRIMEAPPLE, I paid that dude for that joint, right. I paid CRIMEAPPLE out of my pocket for that song, and then I turned around and made cassettes and sold the cassettes, right, and made money back. You know what I mean? Wow. So
made money back, and it's on your credits.
Exactly. And now I've built a relationship with Crime too, to the point where, I see him at shows and he knows who I am. You know what I mean? Like, oh, peace, what's good, bro? You know what I mean? Say him and Buck, like,
nice.
You got to build, you got to prove yourself to people. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Well, thank you for everything that you mentioned, man. That piece of advice that you gave to us, that's going to go a long way. And just thank you for everything that you mentioned in this interview, man. You definitely been a source of knowledge for all of us, man. Really appreciate it.
No doubt, man. Like I said, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, man, having me on.
No doubt, man. No doubt, man. Well, if there's anything else that you want to mention to the beat grinders, if you want to let them know what they need to be looking out for coming from you, what they need to be listening to that you already put out, and how to reach you if you want to be reached, man. Let them know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on social media. Instagram is at The Real Vinyl Villain. Twitter is Vinyl_Villain. I got 3 projects that I'm getting ready to drop this year. Project with Fast Life. He's an MC out of Queens, New York. Mm-hmm. Really dope. Just did a set at the Benny the Butcher, the SOB sold out show.
Wow, nice.
In New York. So yeah, I got a project coming with him. Project coming with Uncle John from DC. And a project coming with Spinda from Boston, Mass.
Okay.
So 3 projects set to drop this year. Be on the lookout for those. They'll be available everywhere digitally, and we'll have physicals for everything as well. As far as where to hear my music, like I said, I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, whatever your preferred streaming service. I could use some new sneakers, so go stream some music. And dope. Bandcamp, SoundCloud, everywhere, man. You know what I mean? If you just, not to sound cliche again, but just Google Vinyl Villain, and find out. You can find my music anywhere.
Maybe we can just go out and buy your merch and support you, a hoodie or a t-shirt. I don't know exactly what you have available, or maybe you have some vinyl that we can cop or something.
To be honest, everything is pretty much when I put stuff out, it goes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So right now, unfortunately, I don't have any physical merchandise available.
Okay.
The hoodies, they do get made, and I'm always, follow me on social media, mainly on Instagram at The Real Vinyl Villain. And when I do have the hoodies available for sale again, I post them up on Instagram, and definitely yes, I appreciate any and all support.
Okay. Well, for sure,
so
man.
Yeah, follow me on social media, man, and stay in tune.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely do that. And Beat Grinders, it's a call to action. If you guys don't follow this man, definitely do it right now. So, all right, man. Well, once again, thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate you. Beat Grinders, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Beats Grinding Life. If you found this show of value, if you guys learned anything, which I'm pretty sure you have, because Vinyl Villain spit some knowledge on here, definitely share it on Instagram, snapshot it, share it on Instagram, Insta stories, tag Vinyl Villain, let him know what you learned from him, tag me, let me know as well. Rate and review this podcast on iTunes. And you guys know how it goes down. You have been mentored by another dope producer. This time you've been mentored by Vinyl Villain. You guys consider yourselves lucky for that. Keep making beats, stay on your grind, and live life. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Here at Beats Grinding Life, we want to thank you for listening to another episode. We want to know, what were your biggest takeaways from this interview? Just go to beatsgrindinglife.com and leave a comment on this episode's show notes page. Also, while you are there, go subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Just click the little button that says subscribe. If you could, please leave a rating and review. Rating and reviews are the best way to show your appreciation, because it helps more people find out about the podcast. So until next week's episode, keep grinding.